Good evening and welcome to the Revere Committee of the Whole meeting, March 21st, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bronson Rizzo,
Here.
Mr. Ferranti,
Here.
Mrs. Gravellisi,
Here.
Mr. Kingston,
Here.
Mrs. Milbury Ellis,
Here.
Ms. Ty,
Here.
Mayor Arrigo.
Thank you. We'll start off with the first item, our consent calendar, approval of the minutes. Anyone have any questions on the minutes themselves? Number 2, warrants. We have Mr. Cruz here. Any question in regards to the warrants? Mr. Ferranti.
Thank you, Mrs. Rizzo. Matt, on page 1, just an explanation on number 12, Powers and Sullivan audit fees, $13,000.
Sure. Powers and Sullivan is the audit firm that the city contracts to do all the audits that we would have in the business office for a year. So there's the compliance audit for our end-of-year report. There's periodic single audits for anything that exceeds a certain amount of dollars for a special fund. And then every third year, we do an audit of our student activity accounts.
Is this a one-time fee, or is it multiple fees that we have to pay them?
This 13 is for the end-of-year compliance audit that they did in February, looking at our books that we posted September 30th.
Thank you. All set.
Anyone else? Questions for Mr. Cruz? Mr. Kingston.
Matt, number 40, the legal services, I was wondering what they were for.
We would have maybe a 10-page backup bill that delineates every single, down to the half hour of services that were rendered to us and with a description.
Okay.
So we can attach that monthly bill for the committee to review.
I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's the firm that's doing our regular
No, I-
legal work, and special education department is also using them now.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Ty.
Thank you. It's just an observation that there are so many $200 expenditures at a place called Really Good Stuff. So that the teachers could buy $200 worth of classroom supplies. I think that is a wonderful thing, wonderful practice that we have adopted, and hope we continue to do that every year. When I was a teacher, if I had $200 to spend on really good stuff, I'd be really happy.
Just
So,
a note,
thanks to everyone for supporting
over the
it.
coming months, as you review these reports, we used the language in the encumbering of those funds so that you would be able to see, in reviewing this point, anything that was a part of that. So you were going to see thousands of entries in April, May, June for bills being paid for what we purchased through that initiative. Yep.
Thank you.
And we will need to find a way to streamline that process because it has been unbelievable. I mean, it's great and the teachers are thrilled. But when you have 700 people spending $200, often $5 per item, and then the business office has to enter each of those line items into the computer in order to have it processed for payment, it's been a lot on the business office. But we will continue to find ways to streamline that process, and gladly with your, Carol, you're the second committee member, Mr. Kingston mentioned earlier, continuing that process going forward. So there's no complaint from the school department on that until we start worrying about budgets again.
2 words, fiscal cliff. Thank you.
I was mentioning it to Mr. Cruz. The city did gift cards to homeowners in the city, so that might be another way of lessening the amount of paperwork on the business office. Maybe just ask the staff to present a receipt of what they did buy, but give them a gift card. It's just a thought, and maybe it's something we can explore, because the city definitely did it citywide and they gave out gift cards. So it's something that's, legal and can be done. Just a suggestion. Thank you.
So I have two items, I just, out of curiosity, item number 95 for 2150, mural artwork. I was wondering where that may be, or what it might be.
I'm not sure if it's
City Lab.
Is it city? And that comes out of their budget? Okay, I
Yep.
thought so.
Yep.
And then also, number 843 for 3,500. Just wondering what paralegal assistant training, what that would pertain to. Number 843. It's almost, I think, the next to last page, maybe.
What page number is that?
Autism, higher education.
Oh, yeah, why don't I have it here?
843,
Oh, I don't have page.
3,500.
I'm just gonna take a look over it.
Page 24.
Autism higher education, that's it. Paralegal assistant.
So that would have been written from a new small special education grant, but I'll have to pull the back up to see the nature of that hiring. In the special funds area, there's a few different grants that have come in for very specific work that we had not done in the past, so maybe one of those. I'll send it to the committee.
Thank you, I'd appreciate that. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Cruz before we go on? So, next item would be financial reports. We don't have any. No food service financials. Communications. Pardon me? So we have a late communication. Does anyone want it read, or do you want it to add to the consent calendar for approval?
You can read it now. It's
I
quick.
can read it
I'm
now.
asking.
Okay,
No?
okay. Okay, this is from Jesse to Ms. Williams. Congratulations. We're pleased to notify you that the Revere High School has been awarded a Supporting Arts and Culture Vitality Teams grant for $5,225.
And I like those communications.
Yes, we like the communications that grant us money.
Love them. And I have to say, I love the work that's been going on in that department, and I really look forward to more of it. Next item would be enrollment update, none. Personnel items, anyone have any questions on new hires or retirements? Ms. Ty?
Yes, I just have a question about, are we still looking for anyone? Have you been able to fill, as best you can?
Yeah, well, it seems like we're looking for more and more people. We actually had a teacher resign today and give her notice effective on Friday, which was a little bit frustrating. But, we're continuing, and then as we move into the spring, we are learning, as we shared last week, that some people are moving on in different directions, whether it's professionally or educationally or whatever the case may be. So we will be needing to think about a replacement for Principal Pelletier at the Wayland School. Ms. Daley Ortega, who's an assistant principal at the RMA, has taken a principalship in Lynn, so congratulations to her. But we will need a new assistant principal there. And we have a couple of other shifts that we know are in the making. And so we'll be looking to fill all of those positions sooner than later as well. And, with their July 1 start dates typically, or fall start dates in the case of assistant principals, but still really want to get moving on those pieces as soon as we can. What'd you say?
If I may, every day in the paper, I read something about teachers leaving, doctors leaving, nurses leaving, people who were so strained during the pandemic, and they've just decided that it's too difficult for them. And I think the next generation will be suffering great loss of people who are experienced and and have been devoted and dedicated to doing good in the society. So I think it would be wonderful if we could find a way to get our own kids to train them and say, teaching is a wonderful job. And you'd be very happy in it. You know, not everybody is, but most people are pretty happy in their jobs. So, and we're also hitting an age, it's the time that people are aging out of things too. So I congratulate you on having the stuff that you do have and hanging on to them. Thank you.
I'd like to acknowledge that Mayor Arrigo has joined us via Zoom, and so we welcome him.
Mrs. Rizzo, can I ask one question, please?
Yes, Mr. Ferranti.
Thank you. Dr. Kelly, which school did the teacher resign that's out, resigned for Friday? Just asking the school, not the name.
That was the Wayland School.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on. What is this? Let me see yours for a minute. Next, acceptance of donations, gifts, grants, and late communications, which Ms. Gravellisi already read and we enjoyed. School field trips attached. The 2023 U.S. Army Junior ROTC Academic Bowl Championship will be held in Washington, D.C. Everyone got the information in their packet. Are there any questions for Dr. Kelly regarding this?
I think it's great.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. Makes me so proud that they're going to be competing in the national academic. So congratulations to Major Bowker and to the folks in the ROTC. And, you know, they do everything from becoming academic champs to shoveling people out in the middle of winter. It's one of the best programs we've ever had in the Revere Public Schools. I'm happy to do whatever we need to do to help them to continue to be successful.
Okay, and number 2 on our agenda for...
Can I clarify one thing?
Sure.
Sorry, I misspoke when I said that teacher was leaving Friday. Somebody has corrected me, and it's actually next Friday, so 2 weeks' notice.
Not any better. Okay, number 2, regular meeting agenda items. Anyone have any questions on the meeting that comes up at 6 p.m.? Also, any miscellaneous items that you might want to bring up at this time? Hearing and seeing none. Do we have a motion for an adjournment?
So moved.
Mr. Ferranti?
Second.
Ms. Gravellisi for the second. So we adjourn till our regular school committee meeting at 6 p.m. Thank you.